Greetings folks, do you want to play a build where the only limit is your ability to pinpoint a space in time and click to end some unfortunate fool's life? Or to fast forward to the loading screen because you need to edit out that sad arrow that flopped between your legs and now you're dead? Well, hello there, God Gamer. El Google said that my damn intros are getting too long, so we need to optimize those metrics. Introducing you my third update for my stealth archer build. High damage, excellent stagger, insane self-healing, and our damage will scale with crit, so even out of stealth, we can demolish any boss in veteran difficulty without any upgrade necessary or gear change. In this video, I will go through all the necessary information, gear options, locations, attributes, and skill tree during leveling, Sarras Perks, and a dedicated, not spoiler-free leveling section. Let's begin. The main idea behind this build is we want to cap our crit, then we want to overcap that crit so we can remove critical chance gear and get more damage. With extra points and level, this build will become even stronger. Weapons. This build can use any bow that you want, the performance of course is gonna be different. And also your attributes spread. My main bow is Deadeye, high damage but more importantly speed. Since it's a light bow, the draw speed is incredibly high. The downside is either that you're a god tier gamer that can nail those pixels down, or you need to cap your crit. In alternative, other bows that I feel like suggest are Burial at Sea. It's a heavy bow, so the draw speed is gonna be much lower. The damage is high there, it comes from Sarras. Anchor's Mark, which will provide you with a similar amount of damage to all the other two bows, however it's also heavy. The main advantage is that you will get a bigger stamina pool. Siege Bow is also an option, not from Sarras, so it's from the base game, and it's a reward from a quest start here. However, due to the movement speed penalty, it's not a prime option anymore in my opinion. For helmet, we have several options. The best one will depend on your stats. If you need the most amount of crit, Twin Dirge is here for you. This one comes from a weird quest in Act 2, and the 50% health requirement is really not that problematic. Corpse Binder is what we will use for most of our core leveling. It's crafted and it's really good. Farside Wood is a new Game Plus item. Currently, unless something changed and I do not know about it in last patch, you should not be able to get this wood in the base game. And it drops from one of the Act 2 bounties. Crackshot Wood from Act 3 will get you a big weak spot bonus damage. So if you are very good at aiming, this is a great helmet. Hunting Veil is our first helmet while we level up in Act 1, low requirement, decent. For chest, our main chest is gonna be Undertow Bloom jacket, really amazing jacket for any perception stacking build. However, here are the alternative. Corpse Binder, again amazing during leveling, and I use this one for a good chunk of the game. Hard Shot jacket from Act 3 is also good. For pants, we have a less option here sadly. My main take is Fledgling for critical chance. 10% doesn't sound like a lot, but we need to cap. It's part of the Children Morrigan questline, it's one of the early items, you will get this one in Act 2. You will need to side with Self through the entire game. Self is the name of the woman, just in case you were wondering. If you choose Vidar, you cannot get this one. If for some reason you let Vidar escape, well, too bad. In alternative, Ashen Veil Pants will give you a lot of sneak damage. But you need to finish Act 3 main quest and go in the crypt here and do a quest, no spoiler. Crow's Breeches from Children Morrigan questline, it's the last reward, can be used. In alternative, Volker Warborn, if you're using a strength bow, you can use this one, otherwise it's not worth it, it's too many points in strength. For gloves, Corpse Binder got nerfed, now it doesn't give critical anymore, just critical damage. So, in alternative you can get Crow's Talon from the Children Morrigan questline. This is not a drinking game, you don't have to take a shot every time I say Morrigan, please. Some of you might die of alcohol poisoning. Endless Dirge gauntlets from Sarras are also an option, since we don't want to treat a mob like a pin cushion. We want to end it in 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks possibly. There is also Lionheart Gloves, which will give you weak spot damage. For back item, luckily our camouflage net didn't get nerfed. I don't know how questline missed on this one because they literally nerfed Abigor for the same reason, but who knows. This is amazing. You will use this for most of the game because 10% is only 5% lower than the highest option, which is Winged Back Cavalier, which is crafted from a quest located here. But if you're playing with low strength, you probably want to save those points. As I said, this build is very customizable. No, actually, this is the first time I said this, but regardless. Ashen Veil Cloak can also be used from Act 3, but is hidden in a different crypt, inside one of the coffins. Attack speed doesn't affect bow speed, because bow has a separate modifier which is bow draw speed, which is, again, unfortunately, it's not visible in the character tooltip, sadly. However, this cloak will give you a little bit of crit and, more importantly, physical damage. There is also Barrower, which is crafted from Act 2 and it's an option. There is also the Harpoon Stinger from the quest in Sarras located here. It will provide you with ranged damage but no crit. For Amulet, Colm's Finger from Act 1 for most of the game, which is good. Crown's Nest from Sarras, especially if you're not using Undertow Bloom Vest, is good. Amulet of Novice Ogre Hunter from Act 2 is also good, because through self-healing will be at full health most of the time. There is also, of course, the Amulet of the Fearful Man. You need to side with him, don't choose the lady. It will give you sneak damage, but more importantly, if you like to crouch a lot, it will give you extra movement speed. Okay, rings. Marksman Treasure from Act 2, mandatory, because otherwise getting crit cap is gonna be harder, especially if you're using Deadeye. If you're using another bow, you can afford to have less crit than 100. A Ring of the Archer from the tutorial is also good. It will give you 15% and is 5% better than the new Archer ring that they added in Act 3, so do not skip the tutorial. If you're wondering the location, I show that one in the leveling section very early. Strong Arrow of Ring from Act 2 is good. You will get this one from the Hanged Man quest. Perilous Orbs can also be used. I did use one. It was missing like 2-3% crit cap, so it's quite useful. There are like several copies that you get in Act 1. For relics, if you're using Undertow Bloom Vest, Nightshade Charcoal is good. Starborn Eggs are also good. Okay, gear is done. Now let's look at the attributes. Okay, let's look at our attributes. If you are not using a strength bow, these 5 points in strength can be moved elsewhere. So if you want to use a spirituality bow or whatever, you can. If you need extra point in strength because you want to be like, oh, I really want to use the giant bow or whatever, you can. I didn't respec. I put 6 points in strength because I used Draven in Act 2 during leveling. But I will speak about what I used during leveling in the leveling section. So here are my suggestions. 5 points in dexterity, 3 points in endurance. You can use Sanguine Sting. If you want to use another bow, the choice is up to you. Afterward, we are gonna put 1 more points in endurance, and then we're gonna bump up to 8 dexterity, so you can use the corpse binder items. Afterwards, I went with 4 points in perception, 6 endurance, 3 practicality. If you're not using the Children of Morrigan gear, then you can avoid these points in practicality, and then you will have to move them elsewhere. Afterwards, 6 strength to use the Draven bow. Now, for you, it's gonna be a balancing act, depending on the gear you want to use, or you're planning to use. If you're aiming to go Deadeye, then you need to cap that crit. So, for Undertow, you will need 8 points in endurance, and then you will need 10 points in perception, and 10 points in dexterity just to meet your Deadeye. Afterwards, you just want to look your crit, change, switch in gear, and then you'll be happy. Now, let's look at the skill tree. Okay, let's quickly go through the skill tree. We start in dexterity, strong arm of the bowmaster, marksman. Then we go in practicality. This point is optional, but I really don't want to farm arrows that much, so mercantile and reusable is quite useful. Then we go back in dexterity, proper draw technique, eagle eye, unnatural focus, 2 points in deadly aim. Then we go in practicality. If you're using a blood ring while you level up, or you're using bleed arrows, because you can easily make those, Exploitation of Affliction is quite useful throughout the entire game. We put 1 point in Godly Physique, and then Weapon of the Great Heft. Yes, this will affect your bow as well. The heavier it is, the better. If you're using a super light bow, these points, it's worth less for you. 1 point in Extra Lucky, 1 point in Critical Cascade. We put 1 point in Brutish Fighter, 3 points in Mighty Blow. So, Mighty Blow is a cross perk. This one will allow you to stagger targets pretty effectively, I would say, as well. So, it's highly advised that you take it. Same thing for Executioner. In Dexterity, we take Lucky Shot. In Perception, we max the extra lucky. 3 points in Respite and Cruelty. Critical Aegis. Bloodthirst. We go in Perception as well. Silent Hunter. Assassin Doctrine. These 3 points in Plague Warden, you will put this one, regardless of my suggestion, as soon as you lock Red Death in Act 2. This one are priority because this one will keep you alive most of the time, at least. Will make the game much more forgiving. So, you choose. If you want the hardcore experience, do not take Plague Warden. Last 2 points, we go for the eyes. If you have extra points, you can go with Deep Wounds to proc bleed without needing to apply the status effect. Max, go for the eyes. Shop for the damage tree of the Red Death. All nodes are good. You can also put points in extra armor if you want. That extra armor should not be needed though. And if you want to invest in crafting, you can do that as well. Okay, let's look at the Sarras points. I choose Rogue. Rogue has some nodes that are good for archers. Frailty, we'll add Frailty. We don't care that much about that because we are not a monk. We will not stack that much Frailty to begin with. Dependable Luck, don't count on it. We are mainly coming down for Death from Above, which is extremely good, especially if you're playing with Undertow, Bloom Vest, that is 25% extra critical damage. Perfect Draw is also quite useful if you can time Perfect Draw. The rest of the points, pretty much Coup de Grace, Wrecking Ball, Instinct of a Killer are all good as well. So if you don't want to play with Perfect Draw, go on this side of the tree. Okay, let's talk leveling. For Life Path, you can go Hunter. Generally, it's good. You can also go join the army and Healer. We want a copy of Blood Transfusion. To be honest, the Life Path doesn't really matter that much gameplay-wise. Get the HP statuette. If you didn't take the Blood Transfusion because of the Life Path, you can find one in this room. This leveling section will hold spoilers relating to the bosses because I will show you the bosses. If you cannot accept that, well, you can skip this section, I guess. And then finally we get the Archer's Ring from the sunken ship after you finish the entire early section. There is other crap that you can collect in the tutorial, but this is like the essential one. If you want to see whatever item is in the tutorial, you need to go and look my old guides. Let's get the recipes immediately when we land on the shore. After you talk to the captain, collect all the crafting crap that is from the fortress. Talk to the blacksmith and buy the arrows recipe. Talk to the ginger woman and buy the lumberjack axe. There are 2 spots in Act 1 where you can cut wood. Wood is essential for arrows. If you need feathers, you will just need to kill bandits. Very simple. Let's collect our first helmet, which is in the sunken village. You just need to do a small park tour. It's really not that hard. You can see it here. Let's get our first pair of gloves and a bow option that you can use if you want. Let's get the camouflage net. This is a spot where you can gather iron. After you do the small park tour here, you can, from that side, and you go up, you can collect Corpse Binder and the Bleed Ring. Here you can get the Sanguine Sting. It's the bow that I used for leveling for the entirety of Act 1 and a good chunk of Act 2. It's optional, but I will just show you. Not really that hard to get anyway. To easily maintain the Sanguine Sting, we can go in the Blood Lake, in the small cave. You do the small mini dungeon there. It's underwater. And then you want to kill the Blood Abomination. This one will drop a relic that you should slot immediately, even if you're not planning to use the Sanguine Sting. This relic is good. There is also second copy that you can find at the end of Act 1. Talk to the hunter and buy the remaining recipe that you need. In the crypt, get the free perception book. There are more free attributes bonus item in the game. Just check the description. I have the location of every shrine and every single one of them. If you need leather, the northern part of the map, it's filled with animals to kill. You can get a very decent amulet for bonus weak spot damage in this location here. Also, don't forget to do all the druid shrines through every act, because they will offer a lot of permanent bonuses that you want, especially the last act will give you 10% crit. Now craft yourself corpse binder. My suggestion is use leather. It's easier to farm leather than bones, or you can just save scam and try, up to you. You can get a pair of hunting pants if you want. I didn't use them, but I still list them. From Mugwe you can buy a Crushed Pilgrim Bone, which is another bonus attribute item, if you have enough gold, of course. Galahad is not the hardest fight for any build, but it's also not the easiest. You still want to dodge or the guy will just kill you, especially the push, but also like the magical slashes. But if you're using the bleed bow, it's gonna be easy fight, just kite him around the columns. In the Arch Spire, in the middle of the map, next to King Road, there is a small entrance you can enter after you finish Act 1. Here you can kill another Blood Abomination for a second healing relic. After you finish Act 1, enter Act 2 from the south entrance, not the northern one. The northern one will have more nasty mobs for you to kill, so if you're brave, you can go there. There is no difference really, just it's better the south one. You can find a couple of meteorite nodes. In the city, Bonksy sells some good relics, but also bonus points. Same for Filth, located here. Here you can get Draven, it's the bow that I used for leveling. It will help you a little bit with crit, but the damage is also good. Option is up to you. There are a lot of viable bows that you can use, really. Just go in and steal a wine from the table and offer it to the man, and yeah, he will take it. When you go in the Toll House, interact with the totem, it will give you 2 bonus points for a little bit of max health. It's worth for you to do it. You can start the Red Death questline in the hospital located here. Okay, the first boss of the Act, Percival, it's one of the easier one for this build. Just kite her, use the column. A lot of her attacks are very easy to dodge. Sadly, this is not the case for the Queen, which is a very easy fight on a lot of build, but unfortunately for some reason she decided to go Ultra Instinct and block all arrows, so it will take a little bit, but if you're prepared, the fight is not that terrible, but very annoying. Reminder, do all the shrines. The special Yak 3, as you can see here, it's 10% crit, and you really need that one. Now, I didn't show this one because I lost the clip. In Act 2, if you need the base titanium arrows, they're sold by one of the vendors of the city of Act 2. If you want the upgraded arrows, you need to talk to this guy here and buy them. If you need to farm titanium, this is an excellent location. There are 3 nodes very close to the waypoint. This vendor here will sell you more arrows recipe. It's Sarras.
I'm sure.
Here you can find the wet arrow if you're planning to use Boreal Sea. It's the same zone where Boreal Sea is found anyway. And that's pretty much it for the leveling section. And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like or maybe even subscribing for more gaming content. Question or doubts, let me know in the comments. Have fun playing Tainted Grail, and I will see you in the next video.